That is a very myopic way of looking at things, because the longer they put this off, the harder it's going to be to do immigration reform. And not just the fact that it's a very contentious issue on the right, but the longer that they wait to do immigration reform, that is longer that the Democrats can use this issue against them with Latinos and with other American voters, and the longer that it can cement Latino antipathy to the GOP. And, you know, you went through the list of these reasons why the Republicans say we could not do immigration reform. That was only half the list, Joy. I mean, remember, we also couldn't do immigration reform because of the crisis in Syria. We also couldn't do immigration reform because of the sequester. Right. We also could not do immigration reform because of the Boston bombing and the fact that some of those suspects were immigrants. We also couldn't do immigration reform because President Obama issued the deferred action. These are just continual excuses. The bottom line is Speaker Boehner cannot get his caucus together. And so this one is kind of a new low, I would say, in terms of the legitimacy, because it's been received so poorly.
Right. And the thing, Christina, is that, you know, ultimately you're going to get past the primaries. You're going to be in a general election context. When Republicans really, and I think most strategists understand, they've got to try to broaden the map. The focus on the Affordable Care Act is kind of interesting because if you look at, I love maps, so we got to have another map. I really do love maps. But no, if you look at where the Affordable Care Act, okay, let's look at where people are actually signing up for it, okay? And these are in a lot of red states where Republicans are saying, it's not in my interest to do it because people don't trust President Obama, and President Obama's the reason we can't do it. But if you look at states like Florida, even states like Alabama, you have sign-ups that are already hitting 60% of their cap. You have people in Kentucky that are actively signing up for it. So the toxicity of the Affordable Care Act, I'm wondering if that's going to be enough to say, you know what, we hate the Affordable Care Act, we don't like President Obama, therefore don't do immigration reform. Does that make sense?
Right. And, well, the thing is, it's, you know, to say that it's just Obama is the low-hanging fruit issue, right? I mean, a lot of Democrats and even Republicans are recognizing that immigration reform is also now a pocketbook issue. So it goes part and parcel with the Affordable Care Act. So the longer the Republicans stay as a homogenous party in ideas, in sort of their base, I mean, you know, Kate says that they have factions. They're in a civil war right now.
But explain how it's a pocketbook issue. How would that be explained to somebody who says, I'm against opening the borders? How do you explain to them, well, this is a pocketbook issue? How?
Well, because with immigration reform, we know that 20% of immigrants are small business owners and entrepreneurs. We know that immigrants support many Republican industries, large and small, right? So we can't just look at it as, oh, you know, when we think about immigration, we also, in our minds, oftentimes just think about Mexico. There's immigration from all over the globe, and people are contributing to so many different facets in our economic society. There are also people who are native-born who have immigrant relatives who understand the financial constraints of having family members in other countries. So until the Republicans actually have a much larger and broader conversation about the global politics of immigration and how it affects the United States.
And that strikes me as a general election question. I think what Kate, the primaries, that's really not as potent, but we're going to talk more about this when we come back. What immigration has in common with the Super Bowl. Seriously, that's next.